podcast series. I am Celeba Maifadi, and this is our very first episode of 2021. And we are so excited because today we're chilling at Sandton City, obviously at the Adidas original store, here to talk to singer, songwriter, multi-award winning something, goes by the name of Shekinah. Hey Shekinah.
Hi.
Thank you so much for agreeing to come and chill with us and have a chat with us about Adidas and all your amazing collaborations and work that you're currently doing.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Hello.
So the reason why we're out here is because, Adidas released an amazing campaign that's called Watch Us Move, and really that celebrates the amazingness of creatives and also looking into celebrating International Women's Month with this amazing campaign. When you look at the pieces, what do they say to you? Like, what is it about it that resonates with that whole element of moving?
When I look at the pieces, I see lots of color, and lots of freedom. Color always represents freedom to me. And freedom represents woman empowerment. And March, Women's International Day, I'm super passionate about women, and I'm super passionate about being bright and standing out and being weird looking in a place where everyone is super chilled and having a ridiculously bright outfit. But today I'm not so bright, I'm denim.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's very unique, and I think that's what women are. Many different types of women, different shapes, sizes, and the collection is doing that for me and for all the other ladies.
Why do you partner up with Adidas? How are you always in this partnership with them and continuing to reinvent your style and finding that signature about your look specifically as opposed to what anyone else would be wearing if they are dripped in the same pieces?
Sure. I think with Addy, you first have to like the brand, I guess. I think it's nice when, you get to work with the brand, but it's important when you actually like the clothes. So I started working with them, but not really working with them. And then I ended up finding myself in Sanson store, spending all my money here and buying all the new collections. And I realized that, wait, actually, I resonate with this brand. They've done a lot of cool collaborations with female designers that I didn't know of, that I knew of once I bought all of the clothes. And I think just in returning to the store a lot and investing in their brand, they ended up investing in my brand. And for me, I want to work with anyone that wants to work with me. I'm not selective about who I want to work with. And I feel like Adidas has been really passionate about supporting my brand from the beginning. So I am here for Adidas all the time. Yeah.
And not only that, but supporting collaborations. I mean,
Yes.
you had a partnership with DJ Lag and a great collab that got you to have a drum track. I mean, do you ever see yourself working in or allowing partnerships or creativity or collaborations to kind of edge you into the corners of things that you don't really see yourself going into?
It's such a good question because I would have never have known Lag, first of all, which is embarrassing. I love you, Lag. I love you, Lag. Lag, I love you, Lag. I love you. But if it wasn't for Adidas, I wasn't going to meet Lag. I wasn't going to meet his team, who I love so much. And all of a sudden, it just opened me up to a new market. And I am definitely trying to work with Lag more and step out of my comfort zone, which is what I appreciate about Addy. And also the colors. I think I started off as a very neutral, black toned, very simple t-shirts, leggings, and they opened me up to color and to being bold and expressing myself through clothes, which is just another medium and another extension of art. So I get to do lots of different cool things that I would have never normally have done. And it's through a brand. So that's very interesting. Yeah.
And I mean, we saw you work with Black Coffee, and now you not only do glam, but you're looking into other forms and other genres as well. And that makes you kind of wonder, is the creative process the same as what you would write when you're more in your acoustic pop kind of R&B sound when you're writing for something that is more, fast paced?
I think, whenever, even with the Lag song, I literally just had to strip it down and just have the piano and the vocal. And I think you just write authentically to you and you do you do you as best as you can do it without trying to be something else or imitate anyone else. And just the marriage of you being you and the other person being themselves always ends up becoming a really cool and interesting collaboration. I think when I try to be something else or do something like someone else, I struggle a lot. So I like to try and be me as much as I can, and then allow the other person, if it's a fast beat or if it's, not usually pop, because I'm a pop girl. If it's not pop, then I just try and make sure I stay in my lane. Yeah.
But have you found that I'd say the house music lovers have now become Shekinah fans as well?
Yes, shout out to them. Shout out to the streams. Yeah, I think it opened me up to a new audience, which also opened them up to new music and to pop music. And I know that pop is not a huge culture in this country. So I am blessed to have people listening to my music, which is pop. Yeah.
So you had a partnership with Eddie in the lockdown about you creator and just wanting to be able to show people more about the creative space and showing them what it is about how you do it and how they can tap into that. Did you find that to be a successful partnership or rather campaign? Do you feel that the mission of that was accomplished?
That was actually really dope. And took up some of my time because I was a bit bored, not bored per se, but just not wanting to do anything that felt like an obligation or felt like my job or felt like working on my album, which all kind of feel like jobs. And music is a passion and it should never feel like a job. So with the Creator You thing, that was super cool because I ended up just branching out differently. And I saw that someone else on Instagram had done a guitar challenge. So I was like, let me use this opportunity to create with other people that are creating something on a platform as well. So this guy had put a loop out. Shout out to Muano. Muano had put a guitar loop out on Instagram, and I saw my friend Refi Sings. She did a dope ass song to it. And then I was like, well, I also want to try and write something to it. And just be creative and push myself into a different direction. And we ended up recording it for the Connect, and it was just such a cool thing to show people how my songwriting process works, and to steamroll me into like doing my album and things that
because your fans need to know, like when you made that announcement last year that hey, you are postponing the release of the album, they were not too happy about
it's been
that.
6 months since I postponed the album.
So what are you doing about that?
Yo, that's crazy. I'm just keeping it real, and it will be ready as soon as it's ready. Trying not to rush myself to meet anyone else's deadlines but my own. So I'm very selfish with my time. But I feel like when it comes to creative process, no one can tell you what your process is. I can't tell you your process. So it's just it's strange and hard to explain, but it will be done. Yeah.
Did your nasal surgeries have an effect on you actually putting it out, or rather making music? Like, was it different? Was it a different sound when you jumped on the mic? Did you sound different?
I definitely sounded different in my head, which I think is the biggest problem. I did see a speech therapist, my doctor, and a vocal coach. And for me, I think my issue was similar to other people's issues, like Lady Zamar, Tamara Day, Tandiso Mazwai. I think those are the right people, but I know that we all had a similar surgery procedure done, and you just don't feel like you sound the same. So you're stuck in your head a lot, and you really just need like time to adjust to the way you sound now. And that's not easy. That wasn't easy for me, and I'm still figuring out like, okay, I'm not as loud as I used to be. I'm very soft. I think you can hear it with the new singles versus the old stuff. I'm like, things are just a lot more condensed. But that's my new voice. And I think I had to take time to get used to the way that sounded. But now I'm cool.
And you're talking more like about like accepting yourself, self-acceptance, self-love, which 100%. Is basically what we're seeing in Fixate.
Yes.
Even though it's like the title of the album will be Trouble in Paradise, but this whole portion of the song or this film is about self-love, and which lends itself so much to so many other causes and conversations that you're having with Rosefest stage and being able to talk about depression and, you know, loving your body and your self-image. How do those things tie together?
That's a good question. And I feel like I only just recently figured out the answer to that question, honestly speaking. I realized that as women, we deal with so much that we are limited even in our art. We feel censored, censored to say what we want to say, censored to be free to express ourselves. And just, I realized that I needed to speak to those topics when we were doing Rosefest, because people were at home and just going through so much, and you know, people had the time to sit and be with themselves, which is not an easy thing to do. So Rosefest, we kind of opened up about mental health issues, breaking glass ceilings, women in the workspace, because that is our audience. Our audience is women, and being a woman creative myself, I know that men get to express themselves differently. Men get to be super vulgar on their songs. They get to have nudity in their music videos. They are free to express themselves because they are, you know, they're on top. And I think as women, we're scared to express ourselves. I feel like I've seen a lot of men and heard of a lot of men that don't enjoy Meg Thee Stallion or Cardi B. There's all this uprisal about these artists, and it's because they're expressing themselves the way men have been for years, so confidently and comfortably speaking about women's bodies, objectifying women. And now we're taking back that power and kind of objectifying ourselves and loving on ourselves. So I think the mental health issues, as well as the self-love in Fixate, as well as the festival, I want Rosefest to be a space where women can come and express themselves. We have a very beautiful big display. We had a Ferris wheel. We had different beautiful photo ops. But for me, the most beautiful space at Rosefest was backstage, because each woman had the most amazing change room with a mirror, with a changing rail, with flowers, with just things that we don't get at normal shows, because 80% of our lineup is made up of males. So promoters don't really think that far as to women need change rooms. Women need to see themselves and feel confident and empowered. So with Rosefest, I obviously it's my baby, and I just hope that it becomes a platform where women feel free to come through and express themselves, i.e. your Busiswas and your Moonchilds that come onto my stage and just do the utmost and let go. I'm hoping that the new artists, the new female artists that are in the industry get to experience the same thing on that stage, and love themselves in the process. Sorry for that long answer. You asked me a question I was passionate about. Damn.
Yeah, it was also a long-winded question that also just had so many elements. So it's a good thing that you managed to take off all of them. And, you know, with the musicians, like you speak, or rather what you're saying, there's so many new artists, like so many dope female rappers that are literally breaking the whole thing of like female rapper, or you know, or they must just stick into just one specific genre. When you think about Rosefest, and if you are going to have a third one, the third annual one this year, I hope you do, and hopefully, do you think it's going to be virtual, or are we going to be there?
I don't know. I don't want to be a super spreader event. I want everyone to be safe. I don't want one person to get sick, but at the same time, I don't want people to forget what we have been trying so hard to build. So whatever we do, we will always try and do something every year, even if it kills me.
Whoa, no.
Not kill me dead, but like it's a heavy process to go through.
And I'm sure the selection of that must be hard, because there's also just politics within the female music industry that it's like they're not opening up doors for everyone, and just so much drama in there.
Yeah.
Sponsorship, also drama?
Not really. You just kind of feel like male initiatives have a lot more support behind them versus female initiatives. I feel like it's easy to close the door on females that are trying to do something versus men that are in your face and so openly expressive, and goes back to that whole other conversation, you know? So yeah.
So with Fixate, we saw you also literally creating the whole concept behind it and doing a whole short film. Like, tell us about that. Is that something that you might put out into like the film awards and try to, grab something there? Because we saw your after skill come out there. And for those
My
who don't
degree,
know, yes,
my
you
life
did
performance
study at
degree.
after.
Yeah, I did. I think, I hope so, for the directors and the producers and the people behind making Fixate short film a thing. They deserve so much more than they will ever get for it. But for me, I think it was just such a blessing to work with people that wanted to do something creative and helped me. They really helped me find the narrative, as much as it was my narrative, they really helped me contextualize it. Sometimes you don't have the words, or you don't have the words to say, I know there's a poem in the Fixate short film. A friend of mine wrote that poem. I remember she came to my house at the beginning of the year and she read this poem to me, and I'm like, this is what my entire album is about. This is about setting fire to places you once loved, setting paradise on fire without even noticing. And so it's about collaborating with different artists that are able to bring out the best in you and tell a bigger story. So I hope that the short film does more. We did shoot more stuff, and hopefully that will come out with the album or just after the album. So we continue to create with no kind of aim in mind, but to create because we love to create. So as long as we can keep creating, we will. Yeah.
So when Rose Gold came out, most of that content was basically about love, and now you're talking about trouble in paradise. And as we know, with most musicians, they put out what they're going through. Is this something that you can resonate with?
Definitely. I think with Rose Gold, I've explained it a million times, but it was kind of a naive and young girl who had rose tinted shades on and just saw everything as pink and beautiful and perfect and rose gold, and Suited was just like a rose gold situation where everything was suited and perfect for each other, and I guess that's how things start. And then eventually for me, the rose gold shades came off and I had to pay tax and buy toilet paper and and do all these adult things. And, and that's when I realized that, wow, this isn't paradise anymore. And rose gold was really the college girl in me and my college life, which was really great and really fun. And I was super in love in college. And then Trouble in Paradise is the adult version of me that's had heartbreak and has made mistakes and pays tax and pays VAT and pays salaries. So Trouble in Paradise, I know, is a phase in people's lives that everyone can relate to. Just things being a bit lit. Yeah.
Because you did say that your 20s have literally become lit.
Yeah.
And
they get lit like when you cross over by 25.
You're
it's like
whoa.
It's a bit hot, yeah.
And I mean, you were born in 1994. I was just saying that she's a born free, okay?
I'm a born free.
Like, so, and I mean, in 2 days' time, or rather in this month, we're also celebrating Human Rights Day on the 21st of March. And I just wanted to know, like, with everything that's happening in the country, with the education system and how we're seeing students like really going through the most right now, with just wanting to go to school, and with GBV and all the rights, children, everyone, just this abuse that's happening in South Africa. How are you finding this whole thing in the biggest space of Human Rights Day or Human Rights Month, and what are we doing to really create awareness about this?
Sure. Politics is hectic. But to be honest, how I'm finding everything is sad. It's sad that people have to fight, lose lives, get shot in the leg. It's sad that we have to go through all of these for education. And it's sad that women have to go through what they go through just by having to live and breathe and walk in the streets and be free, which is what we fought for, or what our elders fought for, is freedom. And it, as much as we can say that we're only 21 years old, very young democratic country, which is what I've heard a lot of people say. It just, we can take that on the chin and be like, we're very young, or we can just be like, but a lot still needs to change and a lot still needs to happen. And there's a lot of people that should be ashamed of themselves, honestly speaking. And yeah, that's all I can say on that. And I hope people get what they deserve and what they need, which is education. I believe education was my key to freedom. I wanted to drop out of school so badly. But getting my degree changed my life, to be honest with you. And I just want everyone else to be afforded the same opportunity. How I can make a difference with that, I'm not sure. But I will always try. Yeah.
We saw Lasizwe do something really amazing with that GoFundMe campaign. And, you know, when I thought about that, it just made me think about your brother's GoFundMe campaign. You know, how's he doing, if you don't mind me asking?
No, my brother is good. He is alive and well. He was involved in a hit and run in California. He lives in California. He is he's a 2000 living his best life in LA. And it's very scary because he's in another side of the world. But at the same time, I know that God is with him. I know that he is protected. He is still alive today. He has had a lot of challenges with surgery, and he's still undergoing a lot of surgery, but he's alive and well, and I believe that God has a purpose for him. Since he was born, we are both adopted, so I believe that constantly God is constantly wanting more for us and putting us in spaces where we can make a difference and can be an example of his grace and his glory. So I'm hoping that this is an opportunity for him to shine. And the GoFundMe account was great because he's a kid. He doesn't make enough money to sustain his lifestyle. So a big thank you to everyone who supported my brother's GoFundMe account. And please do the same for the Sibu Mabena and, as you said, Lasizwe have put together this amazing initiative.
10 Rand goes a long way.
Goes a long way. At the Duma Collective, everyone is trying to just give people opportunity to go to school. And it's sad that it's come into our hands as civilians, but if not us, who else?
So, yeah. Well, we're happy to hear that your brother is doing well.
He's good. Shout out, John.
Shout out, John. So, yeah. Wait, okay, right now we really want... Okay, you said you're not going to give us a date to when your album is coming out, because definitely everyone really wants to know about that. But then what can we anticipate? A third single of the album, maybe, to keep us waiting while you're still cooking?
No, the whole album. It's almost done.
Okay.
The whole
Collaborations, album. Can you give us a couple of hints? Who's in there?
Una Rams.
Ooh, love Una Rams.
Who else? I can't even think of Una Rams at the moment.
Is that the most recent track that you guys have made?
I think it's the track that I'm working on right now. So that's why I'm like, Una Rams, Luke Goliath, he produced Suited. We have a song together on the album. Same producer, I'm Not Goofy. He produced Rose Gold, and he's producing Trouble in Paradise. And a lot of me. Yay. If you're okay with that.
We love a lot of you.
Thank you.
We can't wait to hear the new sound that's coming up. Babe. Thank you so much for agreeing to sit down with us and have a chat with us about adidas and everything else that you are doing. All the best for the rest of the year. And definitely we need Rosefest. Before we go, 3 top artists, new female artists that are on your playlist.
Ooh, it is Elaine, it is Filala, it is Bleed a Bird. I'm saying it wrong, Bleed, but I love you. But I love your project, Bleed, and it's dope. Yeah, that's 3. Lucille Slade. I could go on Judah. I know this a chick called Judith that's really dope that I heard.
Do you know a chick called Money Badu?
Money Badu.
Yo,
yes. She just dropped a song right now.
And they dropped a video.
Yes. Dope. Shout out to Money Badu. Who else?
Saucy. Money Badu and Saucy.
Did they do the collab
like
together?
Yeah.
Okay. I know Money Badu. I've heard her tracks before. Super dope.
Do you think you'll ever rap?
Do I think I'll ever rap? Yes, definitely. Not anytime soon.
Okay, spit a quick bar for us.
This is why it can't be anytime soon. This is why it can't be anytime soon.
But have you tried taking something that you're writing for singing and be like, okay, let me try to rap these lyrics?
Always. It sounds terrible. Okay, work in progress.
Let's hear something.
Definitely can't.
Definitely can.
I definitely can't. Wait. No.
Can.
None of it's everything. This is a PG, right? Yeah, I don't know.
No, it's not. It's online. Ain't no PG here. Go for it.
It definitely won't work, but I love you guys.
Okay, your favorite rap song?
My favorite rap song at the moment is Back to the Streets, Saweetie, and Janae Aiko.
Can you rap lyrics to that song?
Pull up in my hood, best dress.
Really? That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
What more do you want from me?
Well, you know what? We are happy. We are content.
Thank you.
So much for hanging out with us on Carve Africa.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, that's it, guys. That's a wrap.